Hello, good evening, and thank you, and welcome. Welcome to the Chidi Aso Takes. Today we're gonna cover a few things. Of course, we know that Chelsea have a new coach in Liam Rosenior. Liam Rosenior, and he was giving his first press conference. Not really a press conference, but they've had like a small interview, and so 41 years old, young guy. He's coming from, I believe, Derby County as an assistant manager under Wayne Rooney. And then let me see what else. He coached Hull City and now Strasbourg. He's doing well in the Conference League, European Conference League, which Chelsea won. And now he's given the mantle to take charge of Chelsea Football Club. So there's been a lot of mixed reactions about this. A lot of Chelsea fans are not happy because they want the elite managers. They want somebody who is well qualified, who has experienced, either the Premiership or the Champions League, or is a winner, right? And the Chelsea board, of course, they're not going to change. They just going to keep doing the same thing that they want to do, which is hire somebody who they know can, you know, um, go with the flow, use all the players at your exposure, coach them, and see I can manage them to either win titles. I think Chelsea is changed. The football club is not what it used to be under Roman Abramovich, but we just need to get with it because it's not going to change anytime soon. They spend billions buying a club. It's going to be tough for them to get out unless somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I got 6 billion or 5 billion, for you." They've spent a lot of money already. So let's talk about Liam Rosenior. Like most people, I don't really know much about him style of football. I know from what I've heard that it's a similar type of style that's, of course, Enzo Maresca plays. But so he gave this small information when he arrived at Coleman today, and it says right here, to be entrusted with this role means the world to me, and I want to thank all involved for the opportunity and faith in undertaking this job. So he said, okay. Of course, who wouldn't be happy to take this kind of job? Chelsea is one of the biggest clubs in the world champions right now. And of course, if you have the opportunity, you're going to take it. He said, I will give everything to bring the success this club deserves. Same thing that everybody says when they get hired to a big club like this. Okay, let's see. What does it say? I believe deeply in teamwork, unity, togetherness, and working for one another. Now, I like that part right there because I see a team that work together in terms of attack together, defend together. There's some kind of unity. You fight for one another. So I like that. And those values will be at the heart of everything we do. They will be the foundation of our success. He also said, I'm excited to work with the extremely talented group of players and staff to build strong connections and on and off the pitch, and to create an environment where everyone feels united and driven by the same goal. There is a great hunger to win. Duh. We haven't had the Premiership in what, 8 years, and Champions League in what, 6 years, so or 5 years. So we love to win. Chelsea fans, we love to win. Okay, let's go back. There is a real hunger to win, and I will give everything every single day to help this team compete and win at the very highest level to make everyone connected and proud to be part of Chelsea Football Club. Well, that's good. Again, I don't know much about, uh, Liam Rosenior, but I think he is probably going to do a good job. The cycle is going to be the same because once he starts behaving or he says something the owners don't like, he might get fired again. That's yeah, you just have to live with it. He said, I spoke to Liam briefly. Okay, this is a column speaking. Oh, by the way, column McFarlane is the one who's going to handle the game tomorrow, which we're going to talk about also. So column is saying, I spoke to Liam briefly last night, and he's really excited to take the role. I've been told I am leaving. I am leading the game against Fulham tomorrow, and we will try to do the best job as we have done and give him the 3 points to take and then build on it. All right. So the game tomorrow against Fulham, of course, a Premiership game. We don't need to lose any game, right? This one because we have gone down. Even if we drew against Man City, yes, we're still fifth, but you can see other teams behind us. I'm not sure, but maybe like 2 or 3 points behind us, and we can go down as far as 10th or 12th. So we need to take the game tomorrow seriously. Now, the boys did their best in that game against Manchester City. They came from behind and they got a draw, which everybody thought, wow, that is so wonderful because they play without a coach. So hopefully tomorrow they'll have the same kind of attitude. Fight for the badge, okay? Fight for the badge and show them what you can do. All right, speaking of the game tomorrow and the lineup, so I don't expect much changes. The only thing I can say is this. I know a few people are back. So Caicedo is back, and McFarlane in his press conference also said that Kurela is back, and of course Fofana and Sanchez. So I don't know what kind of lineup or formation he's gonna have tomorrow. However, for tomorrow, I'm looking at a case whereby he's gonna try to make sure that um, the folks he put in are most likely going to be the same folks that were there in the game against Man City with a slight few changes. Of course, we know Cucurella is going to be there. Cucurella is going to be there. Reece James. Then he's going to pair William Fofana and Chaloba together. I thought the last game, Badiashile, he did a great job. In fact, all the players did a great job, maybe except Cole Palmer. What do you guys think? But I believe Badiashile did a great job last time. Even Hato, when he came in as a substitute, he was a little bit rattled in the beginning, the first couple minutes, but he picked up the pace. So for tomorrow's game, like I mentioned, the back line is going to be, of course, let's see, uh, Chaloba and who else? Fofana, okay, and Cucurella, and of course, I think he's going to have Reece James play that right back right there. And in the midfield, he's going to go with the normal pairing, which is Enzo and Caicedo. And the attack, I liked how he set up the attack last time, even if it didn't work out in the beginning, because I think Cole Palmer wasn't having a great day, a great game that day. But I think he's gonna still have Cole Palmer, Esteval, Pedro Neto, and João Pedro all together. The worst case, he might start Liam Delap instead of João Pedro because I gotta say Liam Delap when he came in, I was impressed. It was one of his best games. Of course, he picked up the yellow card, but overall, I thought he did fantastic in that game. What do you guys think? Right. So yeah, he is going to probably go with this lineup tomorrow. We hope for the best. Fulham, they had a draw the last time they played against I believe that was Liverpool, but they've been doing well so far also in Premiership. Um, and then after that game, Liam, the new coach, is going to take over the weekend when we play the FA Cup. But let me know what you guys think about that lineup. All right. And now the last thing I want to talk about is the African Nations Cup. I know some of you have been watching the African Nations Cup. It's been fantastic. Probably one of the best. And of course, you say that for every tournament, it's the best after the last one, which was the best, and so on and so forth. But I think this was best. And we have 8 teams in the quarterfinals right now. All right, we have 8 teams in the quarterfinals. The last round of 16 game was played today, and we had 2 teams qualify, which is Algeria and of course the Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is defending champions, and Algeria they had to go through extra time in order to beat um Abidal DR Congo. All right, so what does the quarterfinal look like? Listen to this matchup. Just listen to this. We got Mali and Senegal. Mali and Senegal. Friday, the 9th of January. We have 2 games, Mali and Senegal. The first game at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. And then the next game, Cameroon and the host Morocco. I'm telling you, these 8 teams are actually the best teams in Africa right now. I don't know who's going to win this tournament, but I'm going to give you my predictions for this quarterfinal stage. Okay. And then Saturday, we have another cracker, Algeria against Nigeria. Algeria had to squeak through after going through extra time with DR Congo, and they're going to be facing Nigeria, who had an easy ride because they faced a Mozambique team that I thought they didn't really offer much. They didn't really do so much. All right. And then Egypt gets to meet the defending champions, Ivory Coast. So, who do I think is going to win from this quarterfinal stage? So, let's start with Mali and Senegal. Mali and Senegal, these are 2 countries that I think they've impressed me so far in this tournament. But I'm gonna go with Senegal because Senegal, they've shown that when it comes to the big games, they come out tops. All right. They've beat some big teams out there in the world. So I think even if Mali will give them some kind of ride for the money, I think eventually they'll come out on top. That's what happened in their semifinal game uh, uh, previously when they were playing. Who they play? Let me take a look right here just to make sure. Yeah, the semifinal game they were playing against Sudan, and Sudan scored first, but they came from behind and ended up 3-1. We just put in the third gear, right? All right, so Senegal wins that one, and then the next game will be Cameroon and Morocco. Now, it's never an easy thing to go against the host country of the tournament. Morocco has been playing very, very well. They've been scoring goals. Brahim Diaz, I think that's his name. Brahim, he has been doing very, very well, scoring goals here and there. Uh, Boy, this is where it starts getting tough because you're not sure who, you're really not sure who is going to, uh, I'll say, hmm, we'll give it to Morocco. And the only reason I'm giving it to Morocco is because they're the host country. You would think that Cameroon can hurt Morocco if they're not careful, but honestly, I think Morocco is a little bit too strong. They're a little bit too strong to, you know, they're a little bit too strong to allow Cameroon come over and disappoint their fans. All right, now the next game is going to be on Saturday, and that game is between Algeria and Nigeria. That's the first game of the day, and so it's in the morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So whatever you are, it might be 4 p.m., 5 p.m., whatever you are, or even behind. But Algeria and Nigeria, I'm definitely gonna give it to Nigeria. That's my country. That's my beloved country. I think looking at this tournament, we have too much firepower up front in names like Demola Lookman, Victor Seaman, Adams, Akor, even if he just scored his first goal, but it's stacked up there. And don't even get me started with the midfield. In the midfield, we have players like Iwobi, Chukwueze, and then you have Simon, coming in. So it's a lot of weapons to harm Algeria national team when we face them on side. So I'm gonna go with Nigeria on that day. In the last game, Egypt against Ivory Coast. Now, watching Ivory Coast play today, I gotta say, it was so easy for them. Burkina Faso, who they played in the round of 16, I was kind of disappointed the way they approached the game and the way they played the game. It was too easy for Ivory Coast. Now, Ivory Coast, if you remember the last tournament, they struggled until they made it to the finals and they end up winning in the finals against Nigeria, which hurts so much. But this tournament so far, I think Ivory Coast has improved from last time, you know, and the way they beat Burkina Faso, it was too easy. It was just too easy. And I expected more from Burkina Faso, but hey, that is football. Sometimes you go out on the field, you're not with all the world talents, but you come out perhaps. Sometimes it's the opposite. But today it seems everybody expected Ivory Coast to win, and that is exactly what happened. So there you go. That's my quarterfinal matchup and predictions. So I'm going with the last four I mentioned: Senegal, Morocco, Nigeria, and Ivory Coast. I think they're gonna come out on top against Egypt. Egypt, they've been dragging themselves so far in this tournament. So I expect Ivory Coast to win. And when that happens, I'll come back and talk about who I think will be in the finals because it's going to be a cracker. Whoever wins one of those games is going to be the the winner of the African Cup of Nations. But like always, uh, please let me know what you guys think about the tournament. Liam Rosenior for Chelsea, and what are your own predictions when it comes to the African Cup of Nations or Chelsea's game against Fulham tomorrow? And by the way, if you're watching this, I know you're subscribed. Please do me a favor, subscribe, share, and let me hear your comments also